Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Let's see, audio is doing its thing. Connection is there. Seems everything to be all right. Yes. Welcome. My name is Ike. This is TAGN, the Angry Game News Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m., I talk about video games hardware, movies, and sometimes shows. Today, not a lot of movie talk, not a lot of show talk. Actually, I think I have none of those topics, so all just gaming today. And we're going to talk mainly, sort of, about the back and forth with the CEO of Epic Games. He thinks like it's stupid to declare if you use AI on your store, on the games, the games you sell, like those publishers declaring if the game has any AI included in the usage, in the developing, in the programming, in the whatever. And I think for that statement alone, he is a cocksucker. And I never trusted Sweeney. He always gave me those bad vibes about himself, and he being a little bit too cocky all the time, like he is the most amazing kind of game app store out there, and he is for the gamers, and he is a gamer himself, hardcore game and all that crap. I never trusted him, and today he gave me one more reason to trust him even less. So we're going to go into this a little bit today, and we have plenty of other stories which we are going to check right meow. For example, Sega is not doing too well with the newer games, and they are suspecting like gamers just having too much thought about the definitive editions of games waiting, and we're not going to give you as much value as you think, gamers. So yeah, Sega suggests expectations for definitive editions could be behind disappointing launch sales. Sega is pointing to consumer expectations for definitive editions as one potential cause behind lower than expected sales for some of its recent games. Ahoy, VJ! The Sonic the Hedgehog and Persona company opened up about its performance throughout the last few months during a Q2 financial briefing question and answer session with shareholders yesterday. Sega says a number of elements could be contributing to disappointing returns, including competition from other releases within the same genre, as well as launch prices. The gaming publisher also suggested gamers could be passing on purchasing games at launch due to the expectation they will eventually be able to purchase definitive editions, here in quotation marks, of those games titles further down the line. What Sega is telling us kind of here is, yeah, we are not doing so well because competition, and you never should use such an reason as or such a cause as the reason you didn't sell as much. That means other players buy others manufacturers, other companies' products more than yours. So you're just admitting your product might be not as good as others, and you hating competition. Weird. Ahoy, ouch, my junk. Ahoy, dear Sarge. Ahoy, haste. Ahoy, Dr. OK. What a gay guy. But haven't seen him for a while here on this channel. For 1.5 months or something like that. So yeah, Sega is kind of trying to push the blame for their bad performance in games away from themselves. And like also blaming players, like, yeah, players don't want those games we are publishing, we are producing for that price, and they are waiting for definitive editions and such alike. Definitive editions, which typically encompass video game releases with relatively minor visual upgrades and additional content, have become a popular tactic for publishers to utilize throughout the last decade. And it's a good way, in my opinion, when publishers do that, giving like the players maybe something back, or giving the newer players and newer audience the chance to play certain games after maybe like 5 years, something like that, between 3 to 5 years, making a definitive edition, meaning putting all the visual upgrades, if you have some, into the game, putting all the DLC into it, putting all the bug fixes into it and all that, and give you the definitive edition, the definitive experience of the game at this point, right? For a little bit lower price than you would have to pay if you buy the game originally on release date, and then over time upgrading with DLCs and such your gaming experience there. So it is a very good way for both sides, for the publishers and the gamers, to bring them together to buy your product. So I don't see why you are trying to blame here this method. The doctor is in. He's not a real doctor. He is a very, very bad doctor. He is very, very bad in his job. Don't know why he is so bad, but he is. Wait, where is... Oh, I have it too big here. There. Needed to scale it down. Medico bien. The studio has a history of pushing re-releases for games like Persona 4 and 5, which received Golden and Royal versions of a few years after their initial launches. Sega didn't specifically call out any game franchise when pointing to its definitive edition theory. The company also generally seems hesitant to directly place the blame on one factor for now. Yeah, they are not pinpointing like who is it to blame for the bad performing new sales game. But it couldn't be them, you know, which is a scummy move. It's a scummy move. Sega, you're not doing a good job here, in my opinion. While we haven't been able to pinpoint a precise cause of the lower than expected sales performance, we believe the problem also lies in our marketing, which wasn't able to sufficiently convey the appeal of our games to users, as Sega spokesman told investors. At least, I mean, marketing is usually not considered like in the company, so it's always, again, somebody else's fault here. It was the marketing to be blamed. The same marketing that fucking killed your hardware production. Is it the same marketing, Sega? I just don't like what they're trying to do here. I don't like it. Oh, Jersey Lee. Too much gain. Too much gain? What, on my microphone? Too much gain. I can lower that. Make it 60 dB instead of 68. It should be fine now. It should be fine. It can't really peak because everything is limited, but it can be perceived as too loud. I had a Gamecast, whatever that is. A Gamecast. I don't know what he means. But he is also an idiot, so who knows. You're off today. Fuck yeah. Hey, Sarge. That's Lee. He's not really a doctor, but he plays one in real life. He just inspects his own little wiener all day long. That's the only medical advice he can give anybody himself. Grow, little Mexican. Oh, John, I stopped taking steroids to his voice. It's not so thick anymore. Yeah, that was last Wednesday. Hey, the week is not over. Weekend is just starting. Anything can happen. Anything can happen still on my stream. Monday didn't start off well. For some reason, Rumble Studio didn't stream to Rumble. Wednesday, my OBS disconnected to Rumble Studio, so it's another little piece in the connection puzzle there. Who the fuck knows what's going on? And I just started, so anything can happen. I don't play, I'm busy. I'm too busy. Busty boobs. I don't believe you. The General Peen Inspector. His own one. Oh, you're unfolding. Damn straight, got a drag trooper too. To where? Soldier Boy system. The Gamecast. Soldier Boy system. I mean, checks out. Dr. OK buying Soldier Boy stuff. Yeah, it's better now. And we are done with the chat. So yeah, Sega blaming others for their bad performance, pretty much. I didn't talk about that because I thought it was very stupid. On, I think it was Tuesday, or it could have been Monday. There was a video floating around on X mainly, also on TikTok, but who cares about TikTok? And it showed a female character walking alongside the beach, and it rained, and it was told like, this is GTA 6, a leak of the newer upcoming game GTA 6, which is gonna be woke. But that doesn't prevent Dr. OK from spending at least $90. This game is gonna be on release, at least. He's gonna pay that. Also, do you have a PS5, by the way? Because you're gonna need a PS5 or an Xbox. But it's gonna look better probably on PS5. And this video showed like just a short sequence, and it was roughly 10 seconds. That was the first giveaway for many people. And it claimed like having amazing details, blah, blah, blah. To me, it looked like very generic. It didn't look anything special, so that's why I didn't report, because it got millions of views, that's for sure. And everybody was losing their shit. Oh, the amazing details. Oh, holy shit. It looked to me like GTA 5. Maybe a little bit modded GTA 5, but it was not even that. It was completely AI generated. And shortly after the video leaker this had a disclaimer. Yeah, it was AI generated. I just wanted to see how people react. It was a social experiment, you know. Amid backlash, creator of viral GTA 6 gameplay leak video insisted it was an experiment designed to show how easy it can become to blur the line between reality and AI-generated content. If you are not a completely retard, you would have seen it instantly, but unfortunately, Rockstar has plenty, amazing amount of fans, simps, pretty much. They just buy everything from them. Again, pointing to Dr. OK there. And they're just gonna defend it. No, look at the details, it's raining. Yeah, don't mind that one character that is walking backwards and just disappears behind other characters. Crazy. The person behind the viral GTA 6 gameplay leak video has admitted it was created using generative AI amid a growing backlash from fans. Oh, some fans turned on their brain and like blamed him. Oh, how can you fucking catfish me with such a video? Idiots. Anyhow. Little are they retard, are they? Less threatening to pet. Today or tomorrow night work for me. Tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, you have to do your cast again. I blame my bad performance on Sega. Yeah, I blame everything bad on you. It's the only reason I'm getting a PS5. For GTA 6, there you go. Simp detected. He would blow every Rockstar developer just to get the game one day earlier. He would blow the whole programming team there. My girl wants the new Steam Cube thing that's coming out. Yeah, but we don't know when it's coming out and how much it's gonna cost. And also, you with girl, you mean your boyfriend Jose, right? How much it's gonna cost? Yeah, nobody knows. Don't know it, Trooper. About BBC talk there. GameCube is gonna kind of like an entry-level PC. We don't know. They just said it's gonna be PC priced, whatever that means. If it's according to the performance of the hardware, which is built in, it shouldn't actually be higher than $700. And it depends if the Valve bought like mainly the RAM like early on when it was low priced, and not like today shouldn't be too high priced. And without Windows 11, yes, of course, that's the whole point. Steam OS is the whole point of that machine. GTA 6, but my ray tracing edition. Oh, it's gonna have all the rays. Just for you, John. I need to get a GameCube with Metroid Prime for Christmas gift. Anyone know a good site to get one that I can trust? I just go on the eBay for a GameCube. Just check out the ratings of those sellers, and you're gonna get, I assume, with the game maybe even a package for about $120, something like that. I have 2 GameCubes. I'm still waiting for parts for the GameCube, mainly the HDMI mod, which we're gonna make my GameCube, well, at least one of those, with an HDMI port. So that's gonna be interesting. Building the HDMI port. The most difficult part for me is gonna be actually drilling like a good hole into the chassis, into the plastic chassis at the back, making it look good. That's my main issue, I would say. So yeah, but it shouldn't be more than $150 with the game for a good condition console. I had to set up a Windows 11 machine for Power BI because Power BI is broken on Windows ARM. The file names in File Explorer look like shit. I don't know the Power BI. Never heard of that. What's news today, Ike? All kinds of stuff. We are talking right now a little bit about GTA. How is software cook? Don't be a cock, though. We have already a cock on Rumble. Don't be a cock. And he's being viewed by many people because people love to see a cock for some reason. Send me one of the GameCubes you're not using. Hell no. I'm not using either of them. But I'm not going to send you anything. Just check eBay. You're going to get on eBay a fucking working products. What the fuck is wrong with you? All right, who's the cock? Silver cock. You don't know the cock? You're missing on Rumble lore here a lot, like many people do, but whatever. What's cooking today in this software world? Leftover Thanksgiving, cook taking a break today. Yeah, how was your Thanksgiving in the US, everybody? I had also turkey, by the way. Unintentionally, though, I just have turkey breast in my freezer, and I'm using it from time to time. So, yeah, I had turkey yesterday, too. Coincidence right there, actually. Slap a comic cock. No, don't slap anybody. Especially no cocks. You're gonna get infected with whatever unfolding. I want it for free now. Well, you can want what you want. Ike's best friend forever, Silvercock. He is gay too. I bet. I just bet you have to. He had at least once in his wife's career touched black dick. He had to at one point. There's no way he avoided that. As a producer of his wife's material, just saying. I am leftovers. Yeah, I bet you are, Doctor. I bet you are. You're right, comic cocks might get a boner if you slap them. Anyhow, let's get on with this news here. One video posted earlier this week, now deleted, showed playable character Lucia, walking in the rain. It went viral, securing 8 million views in just over 24 hours, despite the community note warnings against trusting it as official footage from Rockstar. But it goes a little bit deeper than that. He had also a comment after the post of this video, of this leaked video, right? Of this AI-generated video. If he gets 10,000 new followers in the next 24 hours, he's gonna leak more. Oh, I wonder why he said that. I wonder why. In ZepActu's GTA 6 Discord, which the guy's name is ZepActu, yeah, growing backlash emerged today as newcomers flooded in to seek clarity on whether these were genuine leaks of AI-generated videos. Genuine leaks of AI. Maybe you meant or. Gaming journalists. Now ZepActu has come clean, like a clean cocksucker. How clean can you come out as a cocksucker? The cock can't be unsucked. Remember that always. Issuing a statement and responding to questions from IGN. They insisted the videos were designed to observe people's reactions and to demonstrate how easy it has become in 2025 to blur the line between reality and AI-generated content. I call bullshit on that because he made instantly, after got like viral, his first AI-generated crap, when he made the statement, if he gets in the next 24 hours 10,000 new followers, he's gonna leak more. You know, it's very obvious what you're doing. You try to fucking profit from this bullshit, and you were caught. Of course, you're gonna get caught with AI-generated crap. Easily caught. ZepActu said they did not make any money from the posts, nor were there financial motive behind this experiment. ZepActu is now in the process of deleting posts and closing accounts. Oh, what a surprise. He was caught, and it was a he, because he's a gay cocksucker for sure. Thank you for the following there. Yeah, I don't trust you. Whatever you're telling me, I don't trust you now. You tried to benefit. You got viral with your first leak, and you were caught, and you can't make money now, can you? Now calling it just, yeah, it was a social experiment. What a dick. What a dick. Oh, hold it behind a paywall, bitch. When you die, you come back as an AI bot. No, when you die, you're dead. You're not going to come back as an AI bot. It's not going to be you, at least. Might be something to that. People are going to try to make a bot out of all the memories they have of you, meaning pictures, sayings, voice recordings, video recordings, and the AI can combine all those and pretend it's that person. It's not. It's not. Now you might come out as a gay, you know? You might come out as gay. But your grandmother might have been against gays, but she never told you so far, ever. But because she was always loving towards you, you know? She was always like pretending to like everything you did in your life, being proud of every little shit you produced in your life, because she's your grandmother. You know? She has to be kind. But she never was like honest enough because she never saw you as gay. But now you come out, she's dead, you come out as gay. Now the AI bot is going to pretend, because of all those falsified information, that AI bot is going to pretend, oh, you're gay, I'm so proud of you. No, maybe your real grandmother was like, you faggot, you cocksucker. Just saying. All those AI bots are not real life. Keep that in mind. AI pie, AI sucks, AI fruit, AI car, AI feast, AI golden books. What is AI golden books? AI bad. I mean, AI bad exists for sure. AI furniture, yes, exists too. AI money, AI housing. AI money, I mean, CBDC is kind of AI money. Gonna be connected to some AI that decides you are allowed to use your money or not. I died when I was 13. I've been a bot ever since. Ouch, my junk. Did I say ahoy? It's already been done, Ike. What? What has been done? The AI golden books, whatever golden books are. AI these days is more than I. This not even artificial, yeah. It's just fakery, extended fakery. But yes, the backlash had made this guy delete all his stuff or keep on deleting it because gay. What a surprise. I'm big surprised. I talked about this a little bit because I was super surprised that Magic the Gathering cards are so popular that when Final Fantasy came out in collaboration with the Wizards of Coast, or the whatever they are called, the company, published the Final Fantasy cards, and it made on the first day, Final Fantasy cards alone, $200 million in sales, which is insane. So they are doing collabs all the time, and I reported on they doing the collab with the Monster Hunter stuff, a new collection there. Monster Hunter fans just made Magic the Gathering do something unprecedented. Magic the Gathering Secret Lair X Monster Hunter drop was revealed just last week. It featured a number of characters and creatures from the hit Capcom multiplayer series and a Soul Ring promo card in each drop. But fans were not impressed. The card selection for the reprints was criticized for being uninspired and having nothing to do with the series it was drawing from. In fact, the fan reaction was so loud that Wizards of the Coast has done something completely unexpected. Take the Secret Lair drop back to the drawing board. We heard loud and clear that you were disappointed, and we believe we can do better. Do more better. We are going to postpone this release and rework this super drop entirely. Wizards admitted it missed the mark on elements like card selection and faithfully integrating the world and mechanics of Monster Hunter, and plans to rework the super drop in the meantime. Details on the new set won't be revealed until next year. So yeah, they saw like, we're printing those cards. I mean, we're printing pretty much money, but this money was not good enough for the fans. The fans were like, yeah, we're probably not gonna buy this shit because it's not from this world. You're pretending it's being drawn from this world. You need to do better. And they say like, yeah, it's just paper. We are just printing cards. It's easy to print more cards, but we're gonna not sell those cards. So yeah, how we redo everything. And it seems to be the first time they ever did that, like going back to the drawing board and making the cards new. Otherwise, how are you going to get all those millions of US dollars? Wizards of the shit. I mean, they make fucking money like crazy. Like I said, I reported on it. $200 million US sales on the first day. First 24 hours on a new release of Final Fantasy cards, which is just bananas. Are these people facing backlash for using AI? The Wizards of the Coast? I don't think they were in a AI discussion so far. Can happen. Can still happen. Don't you worry. Do better, Hasbro. Imagine Wizard and of the Coast having a real artist again instead of AI slop. I'm not collecting those cards. I'm not going to give them any money, so I don't care. But obviously, some fans cared a lot about Monster Hunter. Some Capcom fans and Wizards of the Coast saw that. Yeah, we're not going to make a lot of money on that. We better rework all that. So good for the fans, hopefully. Side note, because many people still play that garbage. I don't know why. I think Blizzard needs to be boycotted, but it's just a side note. It's information for people who have not heard about Blizzard being gay and lame and faggot, you know. World of Warcraft expansion Midnight gets a March 2026 release date. The next World of Warcraft expansion, Midnight, will be released on 2nd March 2026, Blizzard has announced. That was it. I'm not going to give them more time. Assassin's Creed, George Floyd Edition director says the RPG won't get another expansion as big as Claws of Avigimi, but Ubisoft is still working on chunkier updates for year 2. I selected this news mainly because just recently, Ubisoft claimed like everything Assassin's Creed is overperforming, above their expectations, everything. But mainly Mirage, and because of the new update, free update by the way, in Mirage, that 10 million players, not selling anything really, but 10 million players, big news, right? Overperforming and all that bull crap, higher than expected numbers, blah, blah, blah. And I call that bullshit from the very first second on. And this is another sign that they are lying to everybody's face, but mainly they are lying again in the face of the shareholders, which is insane. They just keep losing and losing. That's crazy. But with this announcement, like, yeah, we're not going to do another expansion DLC for now because we are so overperforming. We can't make money anymore. We had enough, right? We're just going to do chunkier updates, meaning bug fixes and shit. Don't expect Assassin's Creed George Floyd Edition to get another expansion as big as Claws of Avigi anytime soon, as one of the blockbuster games leads has said the team is focused on chunkier, more frequent updates in 2026. Blockbuster. I mean, you can't hate those game journalists sometimes enough, man. How can it be? How can't you see it's not a blockbuster? Otherwise, they would fucking keep on making money. Putting out any DLCs for money. Not like the free DLC you can have right now till sometime in December, 22nd of December. You can play the Attack on Titan crossover for free, and then it's just gone for everybody. You would fucking produce DLC, selling it for $5 here, $10 there, throughout the whole year, little chunks. So, but yeah, game journalist. As of now, at this moment for year 2, there is no expansion on the size of Claws of Avigi that is planned currently. Associate Game Director Simon Lemoy Camtois, I don't know, sounds like a French gay guy, says in an interview with the Ass Creed focus channel Jor Raptor, "We are still working on content for post-launch and supporting it, but it's not a full-on DLC the way a season pass would have had in previous years." Yeah, big surprise. I'm shocked. They are not giving us more paid content here. According to Lemay Comtois, this approach to post-launch support allows the devs to keep things small and reactive and see how the community feels about it, to quickly pivot as the year goes. Oh, that's your plan, huh? Just putting little updates, like little maybe changes in the gameplay, maybe a little graphical upgrades here and there, like on skins or walls, textures, whatever, right? And see how the community feels about it, and maybe you can build upon that reaction. Good plan, Ubisoft. You're gonna win big time this time. Retards. All around us, retards, I'm telling you. Blizzard boycott here from a WoW player of 8 years. I beat you about 7 years. 15 years. I played pretty much about 15 years. Wow. But I played Shadowlands. That was my last. I bought the next one, the next expansion was Dragonflight, I think, after Shadowlands. Don't even remember which was it. I bought it, played it maybe for 2 weeks, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? This is shit. I don't like nothing. Oh, yeah. And Shadowlands was already garbage. All the previous expansion, I still could play. I still had kind of fun with it. But Shadowlands just broke everything story-wise. Nothing made any sense anymore, though. What's the point? Beefy DLC. Bless you, Ike. Beefy DLC, yeah. Have a little bit more beef on it. That's a lot of wow. It is. Shadowlands where they ruined the Lich King and hell of the Domination. Terrible expansion. Believe it or not, if you haven't played Shadowlands or the other stuff, if you never read books, I don't know if you ever read books of any capacity, John Thunder. It makes sense why she was able to destroy all that. It made sense, you know, in the bigger lore. But the problem is, like, the lore was just the bigger lore in general was destroyed with Shadowlands. So fuck them. The story and lore were ruined in Shadowlands. Yeah. Up to Shadowlands, everything like you could pass. You just could somehow pass. But with Shadowlands, nothing made any sense anymore. Nothing. Still, the door's not completely closed for another big old expansion, since Lemay Comptoir also pointed to how Assassin's Creed Mirage just got a beefy free DLC years after its 10th final update, as proof that anything can happen in the future. Yeah, lick my salty balls, UBS, and you in particular, Lemay Comptoir. Lick my salty balls. What a stupid statement to say, like, yeah, because it got the beefy free DLC, you might do another DLC. But yeah, you can do a free DLC. People might play, but nobody's going to buy Assassin's Creed Shadows just because you get another DLC for free. It's not going to happen, man. Just admit why they keep not just ignoring the facts, the reality of the gaming world. Just admit it. You are fucking done with this. You're just fucking done. You still don't provide any real numbers with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Or how it should be known, George Floyd edition. Wild. Something to do with the jailer? Nah, I did not read the books. Don't let the French make games about Japan. That's the thing, though, with Ubisoft. Ubisoft was always kind of a quality gaming manufacturer. Up till, hard to say when the downfall began with Ubisoft, really. Or prior to the scamdemic, maybe. Like when they ignored the Skull and Bones production, the budget, with how much appeal it got in the gaming community. Hard to say when exactly it began, but I would say 10 years plus. Ubisoft was like a name you could trust. You just saw like they're producing a game, you could buy it, and you could enjoy a lot of it. But hard to say when it really started with them. But yeah. These days, nah. Just nah. Beefy free DLC doesn't sound nearly as good as beefy free BBC. Speaking for Mrs. Silvercock. I don't know how it goes in their household. You seem to know a little bit more. But she is a lot into BBCs, yes. Just like you, though, Sarge. You love them BBCs all the time. I mean, they're also whiny. Your BBCs are also whiny. right? Very, very veiny. And you also wet the tip with your tongue and your lips. Just pointing that out. I'm going to give a little bit credit to this next company. We're going to talk a little bit about it. They are blaming only themselves. They are blaming only themselves, which I can stand behind it. And if I would be into the first game, I absolutely am not. I still refuse to touch Masquerade, Vampire the Masquerade. But if I would have played it, and if I would be a fan, and now reading that article, I absolutely would give them a chance and buy the game just to support them, because you're admitting that you did bad. Paradox takes the blame for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 sales flop, announces $37 million write-down. Publisher Paradox Interactive has today taken the blame for the poor sales of the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. The long-in-development sequel launched in October and was met with a mixed Steam user review response, with fans saying it failed to meet the expectations they had for the sequel to Troika's 2004 cult classic Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Now, after 30 days on sale, Paradox has issued a note to financial markets signaling a write-down valued at 355 million Swedish crowns, approximately $37 million of capitalized development cost for Bloodlines 2. This write-down, Paradox said, was based on an update sales forecast. Now it has had a month to look at the Bloodlines commercial performance. Frederick Wester, CEO of Paradox Interactive, said the blame for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 failures lay at the publisher's door, which they are. Not that the Chinese room, which had been drafted in to save the project after years of development hell. Yeah, the Chinese room, that is the developer. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is a strong vampire fantasy, and we are pleased with the developers' work on the game, Wester said. We've had high expectations for a long time, since we saw that it was a good game with a strong IP in a genre with a broad appeal. A month after release, we can sadly see that sales do not match our projections, which necessitates the write-down. The responsibility lies fully with us as the publisher. Now, that takes a lot for such a big write-down, because the Paradox Interactive is not a gigantic publisher or anything. It's like a mid-publisher in the gaming field. But that kind of takes balls to admit it like that, very directly. The responsibility lies fully with us as the publisher. So kudos to you admitting that stuff. And I hope fans who were like let down prior to that now give you maybe a chance and just buy the game, which you can get it on GOG, DRM free, by the way. Hopefully it goes better, because I admire a publisher who don't blame like the players, don't blame like the developer if the developer couldn't do better, because the developer was here between a hard place and a rock, how you say it in the US, right? Not blaming on racism, not blaming on anything bullshit like that, but fully like, yeah, we messed up, we had the wrong expectations, we gave you not enough for your money. Because remember, they changed like after backlash, after cry out by the fans. They had like the game and DLC on first day for other clans in the game. They said like, yeah, okay, we're gonna change that. We're gonna include those clans in the game. Like pretty much last minute. They just took one more month in the whole development here for integrating like for free and making new quest lines and all that for free in that sense. So yeah, The game is outside of our core areas. In hindsight, it is clear that this has made it difficult for us to cage sales. What the fuck? Going forward, we focus our capital to our core segments, and at the same time, we evaluate how we best develop World of Darkness strong branch catalog in the future. The first game was fantastic. First game has its charm. Finished the first game many times. It's a great game. I was hyped for this game until I saw all the DI shit in it. I don't know about the content of it, so still, if you admit that you did wrong in publishing the game, if you take responsibility for that, yeah, you might do better on updates or whatever. Played the second one 2 hours to benchmark it, then deleted it forever. There were many Sweeney BBCs in that village. So I don't get it. Nobody does. Nobody. Sarge is talking about BBCs. Who knows if he means now meaty, fleshy BBCs or dried up leaves BBCs. People forget about the first game in the franchise, Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. It's like an action RPG. Paradox used to publish great games. Rock in a hard place. You don't say a rock in a hard place. You say between a rock and a hard place. I'm pretty sure. Am I wrong? Everybody correct. Software cook for me. World of Darkness transformed into World of Cockness. A lot of cock talk today in the chat. What's wrong with you guys? You all want to see the cocks, huh? Our post-release plan remains firm. We delivered updates and promised expansions to the game in the coming year. Okay. Maybe players will still not like it because you supposedly have too much DEI in it. I don't know. I was not a fan of the first one, so not gonna play this either. Final Fantasy X was ultimate perfection, says Dragon Quest creator UrhG. I don't know if you can say ultimate perfection. Either it is perfection or not. Are there different levels of perfection? Weird. The creator of Dragon Quest, UrhG, believes Final Fantasy X was ultimate perfection when it released back in 2001. Way back then, when Final Fantasy originally came out, I was definitely paying attention to it because it was something we need to look out for. But there's one key difference that I really saw back then. The protagonists in Final Fantasy titles, they speak a lot. Whereas for Dragon Quest, the key objective for the games or the experience it offers for the player is that the player becomes the protagonist themselves. In Final Fantasy, you kind of observe the protagonist, but you're not necessarily becoming the protagonist in the games. So I thought that was a really interesting and stark difference between Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. But I didn't necessarily see them as a rival back then. That may have changed when Final Fantasy X came along, 10. However, Final Fantasy, again, the protagonist just talks a lot, Hori added. I do like Final Fantasy though. When I first saw Final Fantasy X, I recall feelings this was the ultimate perfection of Final Fantasy. And here we have a list of Final Fantasy games. It's just nice to see that other developers have very nice words about your product. So the Final Fantasy creators should take notice here. And UrhG Hori is working since he started in game making, developing, and publishing himself and all that stuff 40 years ago, still doing Dragon Quest. His focus is on his franchise, which is great. He holds rights to his franchise alongside with whoever holds the the rest of the copyright and such. So it's good to see that they are not on each other's throat and trying to strangle. I never played Final Fantasy X, but I know about, yeah, if that's ultimate. I don't know if that's ultimate, just saying. I don't know if that's ultimate.
Welcome back, Dad.
Feels like not so ultimate to me. I know the context, he's trying to cheer her up and all that shit. But it's a very memed little scene here. Caught between a rock and a hard place. That's what I said. A rolling stone is worth 2 in the bush. What? I don't know about that saying. Have no idea what that means. A rolling stone is worth 2 in the bush. Do you or anyone know where the phrase "going the hill in a handbasket" came from? Going to hell in a handbasket. Why did I say hill? Going hell in a handbasket. No idea. Definitely been around a long time though. Think my grandmother even used to say it. Good old granny. Good old granny. Sarge. 2 in the bush. Yeah, you can do it together. You and Haste and John Thunder can go in the bush and do whatever you want together. Sounds gay. Let's stick to Final Fantasy a little bit more. I thought about taking this as the main story of today because it's mentally ill people too. And entitled people. Just because you are disabled doesn't mean the whole world needs to revolve around you and being accessible for you just because you were born in a certain way. Unfortunately, I can agree with that, but I got news for you. Life is not fucking fair. Neither safe nor accessible. Final Fantasy XIV fans raise big concerns about next US FanFest event, claiming Square Enix risk failing disabled players again. Oh yeah, again. Final Fantasy XIV fans have accused Square Enix of accessibility negligence with its forthcoming FanFest event in California. After the accessibility shitshow of the previous event in the US, fans fear the production company of next year's event is ill-equipped to deal with accessibility needs and are vowed not to attend. The FanFest events are huge conventions held regularly in the US, Europe, and Japan, where details of the MMORPG's next expansion are typically revealed. The last of these in the US, held in Las Vegas 2023, was criticized for accessibility issues. I attended myself and, while I'm not disabled, can attest to the general poor organization, lengthy queues for food, and lack of facilities. The London event, by contrast, ran smoothly. And with I guess he speaks from his experience. Ed Nightingale, a very gay guy as usual, those game journalists. And I don't mean to just say that. Go check out Ed Nightingale and tell me he's not gay. Tell me he doesn't love them wieners around his mouth or in his mouth. As such, the move to Anaheim, California for the 2026 event was initially seen as a positive move away from the desert heat. However, accessibility is once again proving to be an issue for the event organizers, as concerns have been raised by fans about how the third-party company Square Enix has hired handling accessibility needs. So yeah, you can get a ticket for this event and you're gonna have to call them and be on the phone with them and tell what you need. It's kind of weird, I don't know if that's normal these days for every event, but it feels to me like they are doing everything in their powers to be accessible for your specific needs. Just saying. The way that FanFest held at accessibility in 2023 was the worst accessibility experience I have had at a con. And their booth at PAX East 2024 wasn't that much better, wrote Final Fantasy XIV player Sarah Winters on the games forum under the username Division10. However, at PAX West 24 and then East 25, the booth took some wonderful and active strides to make its space accessible and friendly for all players. Winters, who is a blind player of Final Fantasy XIV and an accessibility consultant, conducted their own survey of 1,000 attendees of nerd conventions and found about 14% have accessibility needs. Holy shit, that's a lot of retards and disabled people right there. More than every 10th player who wanted to go to those cons, according to her survey, have special needs. Crazy. They are fortunately treating accessibility like an IEP, individual education plan, giving each individual a call with individual accommodations, said Winters. That's just not enforceable, feasible, or usable. Why not? If you have like special needs, they give you the opportunity to call them, to talk with them. Like, yeah, my ramp has to be there and this. I want to use this booth. I want to go check out this game. I want to eat. I want to have a fucking way to the bathrooms and all that. What's wrong with that approach, really? They're giving you too much, maybe, huh? Is that the problem? Another player noted at the last event their medical needs changed the day before attending, but the new phone call system wouldn't account for this. Wow. And that's their fault because a day before you attended this convention, you got some medical thing happening, you broke your leg or you got more retarded and you couldn't see like straight, whatever it is. They didn't attend to your needs a day before, and that's a problem in general, really. Come on. People are having like weird expectations these days. Just because anything can happen to you doesn't mean the whole world needs to change around you. Just saying. I know from my own experience in October. I was just sent back. Fucking sucks. Doesn't mean the whole system is gonna change just for me. Fucking retards, man. Wild. What big that? I went to one of those FF concerts. It was nice. Those concerts have nothing to do with this one, though. Pretty sure you mean another one. Roasted wieners. Roasted wieners. Who doesn't love a good wiener? Chili dogs are the best. What about my accessibility needs? Lap dances where I want them. I mean, maybe you can claim like, yeah, you need to fuck. Every hour you need one sex session. Otherwise you're gonna go crazy. Yeah, right? Some people have those conditions. For real. Otherwise they go crazy, right? What if you have such a condition? I need a lap dance. Every hour I need at least one good-looking woman to swing her ass around my face so I can have a good boner. You know, just saying. ADA lawyers are here. That's a great disability to have. I don't know. How many people going to that event want to bring their fucking therapy oxen? A whole oxen? Holy crap. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some farmer girl who can't like get too long away from her oxen. Hard to say, but yes. What if you really have like this medical condition and doctors prescribed you a therapy oxen, are you allowed to take your oxen with you to the Final Fantasy convention here? That would be interesting to know. Therapy oxen. Therapy gerbils wouldn't last long in California. Someone would cram them instead. For the heart. Weirdos. I have weirdos in the chat. So yeah, I just wanted to look a little bit into this issue here. Some people have a little bit too many expectations from certain events. You know, I think you shouldn't do anything special, really. Of course, ramps and all that for people in wheelchairs, right? And maybe if you are blind, having some staff that can lead you around, maybe in groups or something like that. But that all costs money, you know? The organizers have to pay for all kinds of accessibility, right? So maybe you shouldn't give the chance everybody to call you and tell them all your life problems. Otherwise, you might have to attend to the inaccessibilities by certain individuals you don't want to. The therapy oxen or lap dances the whole time. Gonna be maybe difficult over time. Heard he was a big fan of gerbils. Richard Gere. Yeah, Sarge made once a video about gerbils and up the asses and stuff up the asses of people. I guess go check Sarge's channel out. He has researched that. Not only reading, maybe he has researched like on his own body too. Kind of a side note, Nintendo is acquiring Bandai Namco's Singapore studio. Will rename it to Nintendo Studio Singapore. Bandai Namco Studio Singapore was established in 2013 and has worked with Nintendo in the past, including contributing to the development of the Splatoon series. Now Nintendo has announced that subject to approval. It plans to acquire 80% of the studio's shares in April 1st, 2026, with the remaining shares to be acquired after a certain period. Nintendo said the studio will become a subsidiary of Nintendo and will be renamed Nintendo Studios Singapore, but will otherwise continue its development operations. So they're changing pretty much nothing inside the studio, as far as I understand it. Just having... it's their own studio in the future. They own it. This acquisition will have only a minor effect on Nintendo's results for this fiscal year. I don't know why Bandai Namco is selling that pretty much. Why they are doing... are they in kind of in a distress money-wise? Maybe. Maybe they don't want to develop anything directly for Nintendo in the future. I don't know either. But yes, Splatoon, developed by Bandai Namco Singapore, will be soon enough Nintendo only. Singapore. Admitting to Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles in the early 1990s for an emergency gerbilectomy. Gerbilectomy. Is that a real condition? A gerbilectomy? That's funny. Should I get to this already? Doesn't matter too much, but yeah, let's get with the main story here. So AI is not going to go away at all. It's becoming, in my humble retard opinion, more and more of an issue. Everybody's using AI for in some capacity. I use it too, but I use it for parody mainly, for comedic stuff, not in real production. You shouldn't use it like to making it a commercial thing in your career, in your anything whatsoever. If you don't have full control over the AI and you don't know exactly what this AI, what this language model is going to do for you. Epic's team Sweeney says it makes no sense for game stores to flag when AI has been used in development. Earlier this month, ex-user Matt Workman posted, Steam and all digital marketplaces need to drop the made with AI label. It doesn't matter anymore. That statement alone, which was not by Sweeney, Matt Workman posted that. And as usual, all the links to every article down below in the video description. It's a stupid statement. To what degree and with what detail that this label is associated and made, that is a different question. But I think every buyer of your product needs kind of to know, or has kind of the right to know, how your product came about. Did you develop it, or did you have maybe help by a third-party company? And to maybe to what degree, you know? I think as a customer, as the consumer of your product, we have kind of the right to know. We have kind of the right to know if you were lazy, pretty much. Because in many regards, AI these days is being used by lazy fucking developers, actually. And you see that all over the places, not only with games. I'm going to show you a picture. I don't know how real that picture is, though, if that is confirmed. But it shows you like the problem. And you have seen this problem all over the places. Like having multiple fingers, deformed heads, stupid looking faces, bodies that twisted weirdly, and all that stuff, you know. And nobody likes to pay for AI slop, really. Or do you? Sweeney found the post on Wednesday and replied to it, saying he agreed with Workman because, in his opinion, AI will be used in so many games in the future that its presence will almost go without saying. Yeah, I mean, just because it's used everywhere doesn't mean like people have no right to know that you have used it. You know? I'm not saying we all need to know in detail which AI model you used, which language, which bot you used for your product, and how much of that. We don't need to know all the details, but we still, how about you telling us how lazy you really were? The AI tag is relevant to art exhibits for authorship disclosure and to digital content licensing marketplaces where buyers need to understand the rights situation. It makes no sense for game stores where AI will be involved in nearly all future production. Yeah, he is more concerned about copyrights and all that. Meaning, if you're on a marketplace and you're buying graphics, you're buying assets, you're buying all those tools which were generated maybe by AI, then it might become an issue. You need to know if that product, that graphic, that picture, that wallpaper was made with AI. Otherwise, you might come into like in a clash with real license holders and copyright holders. So yeah, you just try to protect your ass from lawsuits and not giving the players and the consumers a good like measurement tool if they want to buy your AI slop. Imagine it doesn't work here. I mean, it works. You're not gonna see shit though. I guess I pranked me with many unflattering images. They are very flattering. They have depicted you perfectly well, just with more hair. Just with more hair. Angry Swiss game holding into pickles towards his mouth in massage motion. That would be probably flagged inappropriate, just saying. I show up just to be heckled by him. And you seem to love it. I mean, it's not me who puts daily, multiple times in the day. How many cigars are you smoking these days, Sarge? It was once a week on weekends, pretty much on Saturdays, smoking and joking. But since he stopped smoking, everybody, since he stopped smoking cigarettes, he's just smoking instead cigars. How many it is these days, I don't know, but it's gonna be a lot. Where was I? When another user stated that the customer deserves to know, Sweeney replied, "Why stop at AI use? We could have mandatory disclosure for what shampoo brand the developer uses. Customers deserve to know, lol. Fuck your ugly ass mom." Sorry, Sweeney mom, I don't know you. I don't want to insult you really. But Sweeney is a fucking dickhead at this point. What has the one thing to do with the other? The shampoo doesn't change like the game content. At least there's zero fucking evidence that any shampoo used by any developer changes the development process, you know, or makes the game better or worse, or makes the graphics in the game better or worse. So you're comparing here pretty much bananas with, I don't know, books. Makes no sense. Makes just no sense. Just like in the movie, the Big Crash, I think was the movie called, when one guy says like 2 and 2 equals fish. Yeah, that's pretty much the same comparison here. Makes zero sense, has no connection to each other. But yeah, you made like your point in your head, I think. Either Sweeney is not super smart, or he just belittles everybody, every customer at this point, being like absolutely stupid, and you don't understand how games are made, and you don't deserve to know how the games are made, with what tools in particular. Since 2024, Steam has required developers to disclose whether generative AI is used in their game when submitting it to Steam. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And then the customer, the buyer, can decide, oh, this game has AI generated stuff in it. Do I want it do I still want to buy it? Yes or no, like main question. Or maybe I'm gonna do a little bit deeper dive into this one game and see how much they used, and or there may be like some discussions going on about this particular game, about AI slop and all that. So yeah, Sweeney just belittles here the customer, which fuck you big time, Sweeney. Fuck you and all your relatives. You know, I'm not going like fuck the whole zip code. Somebody here in the chat hates a Dan, a specific Dan, and even if you're in the same zip code like this specific Dan, you need to be fucked. You know?
Fuck you, Dan.
I'm not going that far, but how about fuck your relatives, at least? You know? Fuck you, Sweeney. Exactly. All your chew and lighters too. Well, if hair flakes are a problem, give me yeah, but hair flakes doesn't change the game. Doesn't matter. The shampoo just doesn't matter. Like the dry cleaners called, the stain on your lederhosen isn't coming out. They feel they need to call the police. Yeah, do whatever. Where was I? Do I need to read the rest of this article? No. But this initiated like a little more back and forth with Sweeney and other developers and other people from other companies about AI slop, pretty much. So we had this little interaction. Sweeney wrote, what he wrote and we talked in the article about. Agreed, the AI tag is relevant to articles, blah, blah, blah. So I already read this part. And Benji, is that an Indian guy? Who knows? This heavily implies that Epic are now using AI coding tools for the latest updates to Unreal Engine. Therefore, according to Steam guidelines, any game built with Unreal Engine must declare the use of generative AI. I don't know if that really implies it, but because Tim Sweeney goes so harsh against this label, might be an indicator that his very own platform and engine, the Unreal Engine, might use just like implemented some AI language already, and nobody really recognized that so far. But yeah, if that's the case, Benji might be right that every game that uses the Unreal Engine has to declare now. Because the Unreal Engine is a big tool, right? You can also generate certain stuff. So it most likely has actually AI language encoded in it to be used while you're making your game, right? Which inherently is nothing wrong with it. Just be aware of it and declare it. So Benji might be right here with that every Unreal Engine game has now to have the label. Sweeney was not so okay with that statement, though, by Benji. He then replied, "Not true. I just hate to see Valve confiscate every more opportunity from small developers by facilitating new categories, cancel campaigns, and review bombing. Steam used to just facilitate downloads. Then they foreclosed on payments. Then price competition. Then crypto. Now AI." Now he goes even against crypto. Because we had in the past games that didn't disclose that actually the game in the background is using your PC's performance, GPUs and CPUs to crypto mine without your knowledge. Now he's against that too, you know. That tells me a lot about your mindset, Sweeney. I hate you even more. Congrats. It's crazy how he can do it, but he is able to. Sweeney is a swine. He absolutely is. And he's becoming, from minute by minute, a bigger swine. Dan's been getting better. Maybe Cheddar Steve and Dan have some relationship going on. Who knows? Tim's weenie. And Tim's weenie. He has probably a small weenie there. The blue light might reveal even his keyboard is a crime scene. Unreal Engine 5 blows chunks. Bloated crap. Mindset. I say mind, not mine. I say the D just because you have shitty ears, not Cheddar Steve. It was ouch my junk. Ouch my junk is being also mean lately. I'm gonna give him back. Just simple as that. No, I say the D. You just seem not to hear it very well. So yeah, he goes now against also the crypto disclosure here and the price competition. What do you mean price competition? What do you mean with price competition? You mean like Steam has to have the same prices like you, or because they undercut you in game sales prices? That's not bad. What's your problem here? And the foreclosure of payments. Well, I talked a lot about that in the past. Steam is just trying to protect their own asses, pretty much. Can't blame Valve for that directly. I would like to see they fight against it, but gonna become worse and worse, just saying. And you're not gonna be safe with your fucking Epic store, so shut your mouth, Tim Sweeney. Otherwise, the governments are gonna come after you, especially the UK, the Australian, the Canadian government. And very soon enough, when verifications come up in the US, even in your main marketplace, the US. You're gonna bow down. You're gonna fucking bow down. Just because you won against Apple doesn't mean shit, really, in the broader field of gaming stores. Shut up, Sweeney. I don't know why he's being such a dick, such a cocky dick. And now AI. Yeah. I think you should make now a little circumvent his fucking product in general. Fuck Tim Sweeney. Fuck Epic Store. Fuck all games. Maybe with the Unreal Engine. Maybe you can't trust Unreal Engine games at all. Just because the engine itself is going to use AI in some capacity. Yeah, you can make good games with Unreal Engine too, if you just tweak it. That's the main thing here, if you tweak it. Weird. But then after that, and Valve Artist actually came after those guys, Sweeney and what was the other guy's name? Who cares? Do we care really? Matt Workman. Valve Artist says that's like saying food products shouldn't have their ingredient list, as Epic's Team Sweeney and more call on Steam to drop the made with AI label. Sanchez, an artist who's contributed to Counter-Strike at Valve, disagrees. This is like saying food products shouldn't have their ingredients list. Consumers should have the information to decide if they want to buy something or not, depending on its content, he says. The only people afraid of this are the ones that know their product is low effort. That's like a good punch, in my opinion, because that's why you use AI. Low effort stuff. And I always said that too. If it's like fucking tedious work, like repetitive work, I think it's okay to use AI. But not to generate creativity, artistical stuff, you know? If it's like code replacement or code checking, if the code is like correct in that sense, to use AI for that, why not? But for creative stuff, no. And that's what he is punching at, as an artist in particular. So I don't blame him at all. So yeah, good on him, I would say. Workman responded that art isn't comparable to food or appliances because they can be harmful to your health and well-being if improperly advertised. I'm not afraid of the label personally. I think it's not enforced on Steam. And the rules are not clear for the developers or players, he adds. Yeah, I mean, you can make the label a little bit more clear, like creative AI use or code AI use or voice AI use, all those things. You can make maybe multiple labels, why not? Make a set of labels on all that. But yes, you might be like technically absolutely right. It's not going to hurt your health really, but it might hurt your wallet because you're going to spend as a player, as a consumer, as a customer, money on your product. And I just want to know where my money is going to. If my money is going to AI slop and you're a big fucking publisher or anything like that, I want really to know more details about that. Very simple. What's wrong with that? Your weenus is showing. My weenus? What is my weenus? What weenus? Good analogy. Well, made with AI make people not trust the game. AI slap. I mean, I'm not sure if that's the case though. Really, I just as the guy who puts money in something, I want to know if you were lazy. That's like my first issue. I want to know, were you lazy? For example, Ubisoft. The last Ubisoft AI controversy was they just used AI to generate loading screens. They didn't fucking check them. They admitted, yeah, I don't know what happened. It just slapped through, man. I have no idea, man. Sorry. It just went through. We don't know how that happened. And with like cut off heads and weird faces and all that nonsense, right? They admitted that. So I want to know, as a buyer of your products, how lazy you might have been. Simple as that. Over on LinkedIn, Workman weighs in further, sharing a story on Sweeney's comments and adding, as it currently stands, Valve's themes made with AI net is so wide it catches any developer who uses Unreal Engine, Google Suite, Gmail Docs, Sheets, Slack, many AI automations, Adobe products, Microsoft Office, etc. This lacks nuance. Yeah, you can make it like further labels, a little bit more details in those labels and all that. Why not? But just because all those bigger tools use the AI slop doesn't mean you are just out of the equation and not being allowed anymore to use that label on you. So I think Valve does kind of a service here to the buyers, to the players, just by showing, yeah, this product has some AI stuff in it. How much? That is a different question. But that different question you need to ask yourself and get in contact with each other, like maybe Adobe with Valve, maybe Epic Games with Valve and their Unreal Engine, and in to what regard, how much really AI is in Unreal Engine. So I don't see anything wrong though, just labeling you because you are using AI. Very simple. While there are perhaps critiques to be made on Valve's execution for Steam's made with AI label, the fundamental idea of making sure players understand the tech has been used is sound. Some people care less than others on the inclusion of generative work in any given release, and we are all better for having more information rather than less. Good last statement there. Game journalist Anthony McGlynn, I would say. How about just giving us information that your product has certain stuff in it? Nothing wrong with that. And then leave the decision to the buyer, to the customer. Leave the decision to them. That you are so afraid of that labeling tells me actually, I think, a lot about your product. But that's just me. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think many people who spend money on your products have the right and want to know if they need to stay away from your product. And otherwise, we might see more of that in the future. I don't know how real that is. I didn't research at all. But I can see that is a real issue. I still watch anime, not as much as I would say like 5+ years ago. But yes, if you get an anime by big production companies like Mappa, Toei Animation, JC Staff, and you see 6 fucking fingers on characters, that is fucking disgusting. That shows me that you are fucking lazy. And you should lose all your fucking money. And nobody should watch you at all. I don't know from which anime that one is at all. But yes, like 5 fingers plus the thumb. I mean, might be a medical condition, right? Of all those characters. Having 6 fingers in total. Here again. 4 fingers here, the index fingers and the thumb. 5 fingers and the thumb. That's just laziness, absolute laziness. And people just deserve to know if your product. And here, supposedly, here it is very obvious, right? People can count the fingers. Very simple. But what if, like, all those companies use for big companies? I'm not talking about 1 to 5 member teams there who make a game, who don't have the money, who need to take shortcuts with AI. I don't blame those at all, really. And those are probably more than happy to disclose, yeah, we used AI because small team, we don't have enough money, we are also on a schedule for our product whatsoever, right? So I don't blame those smaller production companies. But big companies like Ubisoft and all that, you need to fucking disclose that you were lazy. Very simple. Elbow skin. What about elbow skin? My elbow? I don't know. Made with AI make people not trust the game. Slob. Yeah. Weird. They call them fingers. Yeah, but 6 fingers. You also seem not to count. I knew I do it with extra fingers. Yeah, it is a medical condition, absolutely. But I can guarantee you, if those are from real enemies, if those are taken from real enemies, those characters have not that issue, that medical condition with 6 fingers. It's clearly that AI was used and they were just not watching what they are producing. That's very simple. I can't believe you aren't covering the legal battle between Razbam and Eagle Dynamics. I don't know who Razbam is. I don't care. Because all your topics are lame in general, Shadow Steve. You know that. You know that very well. Dan Hauser quit Rockstar because he didn't have another one of those games in me. That's what he said. Says humans, not AI, will dominate creative endeavors. So AI talk is going to keep up coming in the news all the time. And there were more AI news, by the way, more articles. I'm not taking on AI all the time, though, but too much of that. Grand Theft Auto veteran Dan Hauser believes that human beings will be the driving force in creative endeavors now and forever. Speaking to Radio 4 about his debut novel A Better Paradise, incidentally about an artificial intelligence gone rogue, the Rockstar co-founder said that he thinks what large language model-powered AI tech produces is generic. And he is very right with that, so far. So far, I can fully agree with it. All looks very generic. If you have eyes to see, if you have a brain to think, and you can combine what you're seeing with your thinking abilities, you see what is AI generated after taking a longer look than 2 seconds, I would say. This echoes comments Hauser made earlier this week, where he said AI is not as useful as some companies would have you believe. In most areas, the future of equality writing is writing by writing. I think you're using here the wrong word. But again,
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I try. By humans, Hauser told Radio 4 host Kate Mullinson. Most creative endeavors are still very human-dominated and will be forever, at least if they are using the equivalent of language models to make stuff, as far as I understand. It can sometimes produce interesting random things, but it's quite generic, the level of content it creates. I mean, I don't know, sometimes it looks very convincing. I can't tell apart if Haste is really having body pillows in his face. You know? Just saying. Hauser was also asked about his decision to leave Rockstar in 2020. In short, the development wet said that the studio's project took so long to make and had become increasingly complex. He wasn't sure if he had in him to complete another game. And his last game at Rockstar was Red Dead Redemption 2. Great game, as usual, as I say every time. But yes, it takes a lot on you if you make such a big game, you know, and he just says, like, I don't think I would have the energy to make another such a big game. So that's why he has his own studio, making it smaller, making smaller games, smaller products. Simple. Bringing on the harsh on Steve. You don't know. You don't know Cheddar Steve. He always talks about Lederhosen. I don't know why, because that's not a Swiss thing at all. So he's trying to be very funny. He just can't convince Dear Sergeant, Mrs. Sergeant for being really funny. Other than that, he's convincing nobody. Not even himself. Not even himself. It's harsh reality right there. Maybe 4 seconds for me, Ike. 4 seconds for you? What do you mean 4 seconds for you? It can be a tough journey getting things at the scale with that many moving parts finished, and you've got 4,500 lines of dialogue and equal numbers of parts of other things trying to assemble itself. It's this huge production experience that swallows all of your time for many years at a time, and I didn't know if I had another one of those games in me. So I don't blame him, but it's good that he can like tell us that he was just not ready to keep that tension, keep that energy up the whole time, because it might kill you, especially with such big, gigantic games like Red Dead Redemption. And he worked like on other games too, but in Red Dead Redemption, was his, I would say, magnum opus at Rockstar itself. So yeah, I'd see why he left and just was like, nah, keep it smaller, all good. Just finish up the leftovers from Thanksgiving dinner. Was it good? Was it good air fried? Do you heat up with air fried sometimes? I never saw you do that. You technically could if you put the heat very low. But Mrs. Sergeant, Dear Sergeant are big in microwaving, which destroys every nutrition, but I'm a retard. What do I know? Recently, Rockstar has come under scrutiny for firing staff who were a member of a Discord run by this union busting claim, whatever. With this context, Mollison asked whether the games industry is a good place to work. Hauser says fundamentally yes. So Hauser didn't go into explaining and talking about the supposedly union busting by Rockstar. He just said like, yeah, if you want a good career in the future and if you are motivated, you should absolutely go into game development. If you are like talented, you're gonna make buck, pretty much. Just little inside knowledge by a very experienced Dan Hauser there. 44DD bought us a pre-made meal of rib roast, scalloped potatoes, sweet potatoes, green beans, casserole, pumpkin pie with spiced apple slices and whipped cream. Zero work for you. Unacceptable. So I didn't know about that. I mean, I know Bungie made their first game for Apple systems. I didn't know that actually Halo was supposed to come out on Mac systems. After Apple originally, I mean, I might have heard at one point, but I've certainly forgot then. After Apple originally announced the first version of Halo in 1999, Xbox apparently called Bungie and said, Steve Jobs can't have that. We're going to buy you. Halo and Master Chief's co-creator Marcus Letho, or Letho, I don't know how you pronounce his family name there, recently went into detail about the series' earliest days and has even spilled the tea on how Microsoft wrangled the game out of competitor Apple's hands. Before Halo became the killer app for Microsoft's Xbox console, it was actually supposed to be a third-person shooter for Apple's Macs. CEO and company founder Steve Jobs even introduced the game to the world on stage during 1999's Mac World Conference, which still had an epic theme, tuned and aliens, but was otherwise very different to the Halo we know now. We got up on stage with Steve Jobs at Macworld, and we talked about it there. Leto remembered in an interview with Kent State magazine, the college he once attended. Looking for studios and exclusives to bulk up its Xbox launch slate, Microsoft eventually called the studio, which was at the point in a spiky financial situation. And then Microsoft said, Steve Jobs can't have that. We are going to buy you and move you all to the Pacific Northwest, and then we are going to have you build this game for the Xbox. That is kind of crazy. So Microsoft saw what Bungie showed on a Mac machine, because Mac machines were not this. I mean, they had games always too, right? On every system, Mac OS version 2, they had always games too. But Bungie produced Marathon, the original Marathon, and Marathon 2 for Mac OS only, as far as I know. And they got into some kind of partnership with Apple. And if you follow the link here to this article, you can see also the 1999 Macworld presentation. And it looked good. I would say back then it looked good. It looked probably amazing, actually. A very full-fledged 3D game, very early late 90s, very fluent, very 60 frames per second looking game there, 3D on macOS. So it would have been a success. And who knows how it would have went with macOS and gaming if that game got launched on macOS, right? But Microsoft was like, yeah, Steve Jobs can have that. So, and I think they did a good decision here. Whatever amount of money Microsoft put into buying Bungie, moving supposedly all the staff to the Pacific Northwest, it paid out, I would say, at least for the first 2 decades of Xbox. Well, Bungie did make Marathon games for Apple, so makes sense. Halo now on PlayStation. Yep. I need to get a new air fryer sometimes. Oh yeah, ask Mrs. Sarge. She is kind of an expert in air frying. She might give me some advice. I don't know. Myst was developed on Mac. Yeah, but Haste, Myst, it is kind of very stationary. It's not like moving big parts. When you solve the puzzles, sometimes you see an animation, but other than that, it's not a big thing. Not a big achievement. Just saying. I used to have I used 2 and have one still unboxed in case one of the existing ones goes bad. A friend of mine had Unreal on Mac back in the day. Xbox would not have been as big of a launch for sure. Nice backups. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Microsoft would not have taken off at all with the Xbox. Because let's be real, Halo was this big one, amazing looking and sounding game for this new Microsoft console. Had 5.1 Dolby Digital sound. It was very fucking fluent, very top-notch gameplay, you know, amazing story, amazing voice acting. Everything was perfect for that time. This game was just perfect, you know. So I think Xbox would have not been a thing. The 360 might have never come out without a Bungie and Halo, for that matter. Combat evolved, but yes, that's a little nice memory here. I never knew that they wanted to publish that actually on macOS first, and they had like Just check out the video. Macworld Halo 1999 on YouTube. Looks interesting. And I checked out what hardware GPU-wise Mac machines had back then. It was nothing extraordinary out of the wild hardware components. You mainly had the ATI Rage 128, which you could have gotten also for PC. So it made probably the port easy in some regard with the OpenGL for the NVIDIA chip in the Microsoft Xbox console. I had Halo 2 in the metal box, like 50% of all other buyers of Halo 2. Ouch, my jock. Like the metal sleeve case, the metal case. Every second player got that one. Our daughter tried to get Sarge to play Halo with her. He couldn't drive with the Warhog. Yeah, I mean, not a big surprise. If you know Sarge, in any regard, his coordination, brain, and the rest of his body, weird. That's all I can say. Just weird. He doesn't realize when he walks backwards on the elliptic. Even if you record him, show him, he can't see that he walks backwards. He doesn't know what backwards walking is, I guess. He has no real connection to his body parts. Weirdo. Kind of a side note here. New control trademark sparks speculation. Remedy will be making the Game Awards announcement. A trademark for something known as Control Resonant has been registered in Europe, leading many to speculate developer Remedy has something up its sleeve for the Game Awards next month. While Control developer Remedy is not mentioned in a trademark's registration, Norgia attorney at law is. This is the same firm Remedy has used for its previous trademarks. So they are representing Remedy, at least prior to whatever they had going on. And they are now here as the representative marked. Who knows what that is? I just found that I need to mention it because for some reason Control is super beloved. I tried it on the PS4 and it's really not working well on the PS4. The PS4 struggled a lot. I guess with the PS4 Pro you would have a better experience. And even in today's time, it is not very well optimized at all. I hate everything about it. Gameplay-wise, it would have been interesting. Story-wise, it is whatever. There's one building and you have superpowers. Yeah, whatever. Elsewhere in Remedy news, earlier this year, the studio CEO Tero Virtala stepped down from his position at the company. While Remedy's announcement did not indicate a reason for Virtala's departure after 11 years at the company, it followed a profit warning to investors. Due to weak sales of the studio's multiplayer control spin-off FBC Firebreak. Yeah, Firebreak was also very broken in general. They needed to fix a lot and people just were not into this game. It looked like an interesting concept at first when they launched a trailer for it with you fighting kind of post-it monsters. Just looked wild, but other than that, it was whatever. It didn't work well. It was also not well optimized. And yeah. But you supposedly might get a sequel to the Control game, which you can get on all platforms these days, though. Even on UrhG. Tried it for 5K with super sampling from 1440p, work okay. Yeah, but that's the thing. The game is now kind of very old, John Thunder. That's what I mean. if such a game doesn't work like 120 frames per second native resolution on my 5070 Ti with all maxed out, fuck off. I'm just not into that shit anymore. You need to do better, especially when you had enough time to just work on it, optimize it, clean out some code and all that after 5 years, whatever, right? You just need to do better. And they are not doing better. They're just destroying their own IP in my regard. Why you do that, who knows? I guess you don't want my money. That's all I can assume here. I wouldn't run control. I wouldn't run control on PS4 either. Not even on PS4 Pro. Okay. I just remember I had like, just like from the feeling, like 10 FPS at certain situation on the PS4, which was not a good experience. No game these days should go below 20 frames per second at no point on any console. I don't care how much money you put in or how less money you put in your game, but if it dips below 20 frames per second on that system you supposedly like tuned it for that system, fuck off. You deserve to go under at one point. I keep telling him he is doing it backwards, but it took Ike to record him and show him before he believed it. No, Mrs. Sarge, you're not listening. He didn't believe it even then. He didn't even believe it then. He didn't saw it. I don't know what's going on in his head, but he didn't saw it. I showed him. I showed him even frame by frame, really. And even then he was like, yeah, I guess it's doing it, but I don't feel it. He's just a weirdo. I love running over other players with the Warthog. I got Kilimanjaro by running over the entire enemy team at the same time. Elliptical is the funniest. Is he using the elliptical? Are you forcing him on it, Mrs. Sarge, by the way? I'm just wondering. Google Rabbit Discord, what a name. Thank you for following. I don't know, Cake, YouTube. It looks like a bot though, but thank you. They added RTX Mega Geometry with a March 2025 patch, and they said they optimized things, but they failed. Don't play Alan Wake 2 on console. It does not work good at all. It does not work good at all. You could just say it doesn't work good. Because I consider it like in the at all, you know. Oh, some news for Sarge. You might be sad about that, Sarge. Sarge has a Steam account, by the way. He's never going to use it ever again. He has 2 games, at least I know of. Or more like 1 game and a game collection. Command and Conquer. But he doesn't like it. Too much thing to consider in Command and Conquer. Valve accused of pulling LBGTQ plus game from the Steam at the request of Russian government. Fucking Ruskisk. How dare those fucking Russians. PC game giant Valve has reportedly censored content on its Steam platform at the behest of the Russian government. The body sent official notice to Flick demanding the project's removal from the App Store, Google Play and Steam, saying a series of deck designed featuring LGBTQ+ artwork contravened 2006 federal law promoting non-traditional sexualities. Yeah, good for Russia. But that's only my opinion. I don't care for LGBT fucking communities. Go fuck each other with whatever you have between your legs. Really, nobody really cares. But the Russians were like, yeah, we don't want to promote that non-tradition stuff. And the funny thing, non-tradition here is like a man and a woman. You know, just like biology is. Female and male. Very simple. But the Russians are not up for LGBTQ crap. The request conflated LGBTQ plus content with pedophilia, according to VGIM's reporting. These platforms received the same notification, with Apple and Google allegedly ignoring Rosmukando's source demand to pull Flick Solitaire from their services. Only Valve has capitulated, removing the game from the Russian version of Steam. Valve did not reply to VGIM's request for a comment. GamesIndustry.biz has also contacted the company and will update this story with any response. This isn't wokeness. It's basic human rights and equality and nothing more. If Steam can't support free speech of LGBTQ plus people, then at the very least, they should be transparent about this. They are transparent. They just removed it. End of story. And it's a card game. It looks like just solitaire with fucking trannies all over the place. I mean, you're gonna sell more now on the other stores, so you should be happy because nobody knew about your tranny game, tranny solitaire version here. And you probably don't even hold the copyrights to those pictures, though. You know, maybe in tranny communities, you might be picked up because of this happening. And somebody like the tranny from the French, what was it, Olympics? I don't even remember. Who mocked actually the Last Supper, you know, from the Bible pretty much. And it was very clear they mocked it. This later claimed, no, we didn't mock it. It was just coincidence looking like the same. And all that bull crap. Maybe he did give you like the permission to use his tranny likeness. I don't know. Maybe you have to take it down because you abused some copyrights here. But yes, Sarge, go buy it on other platforms. On Google Play Store now. Sorry, but the Russian government is not up for that shit. At least Steam was like, nah, whatever. Government is government. We're gonna take it off from the Russian version of Steam, and we are good to go. In Soviet Russia, video game plays you. Yeah, kind of. Drag deck. Yeah, drag deck. Flick drag deck. I guess what free speech isn't the right, not in the government sense anyway. I don't know about the Russians' constitution, if they have anything similar to other countries, or if they have just like a charter or whatever. But if they supposedly decided as a society, yeah, this is not Russian allowed, you know, it's not a freedom of speech issue. It's just not. Be happy. You can be as gay and faggy and tranny in the US still. Get it from the Apple Store and Google Play Store. Weird. But I mean, I talked about that in the past, about Steam. When they got confronted with payment stuff. Like not taking a stance in some regard, not defending like legal stuff. That LGBTQ stuff is just not legal in Russia. What can we say? Doesn't matter if I am against it too, like the LGBT crap or not. Doesn't matter at all. But if it's gonna get in conflict with just like legal stuff in your country, and just Steam is not publishing that for whatever reason, despite being legal, despite the payment processor told like the whole rest of the world, yes, as long as it's a legal transaction, we are not the ones who are trying to pull it off from that or this store. But Valve just went along with supposedly laws in the UK and just purging it all over the places, on every marketplace globally. That is a real issue there, CD Projekt's PC game storefront GOG gets behind horses after Valve's Steam ban. Players should be able to choose the experiences that speak to them. And that's like the same issue. Valve is just making a final decision without any good reasoning behind it, just because they got some reports by other third-party factions, pretty much. CD Projekt's PC game storefront GOG is getting behind indie game Horses after Valve banned it from Steam. Horses is an indie first-person horror game with live-action sequences set in a horse farm. Over the course of 14 days, it welcomes you into encounters that test your obedience, complicity, and restraint. The player's experiences the farm's unspeakable horrors through daily unique interactions, as they must withstand 14 days of spiraling dread as the reality of the farm unfolds. So it's just a horror game, first person, and you're witnessing how you work on this farm, on this horse farm, what tasks and chores you need to do, and it unfolds into some horror. I don't care. It doesn't look appealing to me. Everything pretty much in black and white and all that. And Steam accused the game of depicting sexual content with minors, and supposedly the developer came out, which is pretty much a one-man show there, saying like, no, I explicitly state all the characters are 20 years and above, depicted 20 years and above, and are this age in the game and all that. And nothing really too sexual is happening. You see bodies, naked bodies laying around and all that, yes, but he specifically told everybody no minors involved, no depictions of minors involved. So I tend to believe him. I don't know about this game though, but I tend to believe him, especially after GOG now defending it and then promoting it with this statement pretty much. And they said, we reviewed the game back in 2024, Valve said. At the time, the developer indicated with their release date in Steamworks that they plan to release a few months later. Based on content in the store page, we told the developer we would need to review the build itself. This happens sometimes if content on the store page causes concern that the game itself might not fall within our guidelines. After our team played through the build and reviewed the content, we gave the developer feedback about why we couldn't ship the game on Steam, consistent with our onboarding rules and guidelines. A short while later, the developer asked us to reconsider the review, and our internal content review team discussed that extensively and communicated to the developer our final decision that we were not going to ship the game on Steam. So Steam also make it sound like, yeah, the game seems not ready for publishing, blah, 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 quality-wise too, Not only that child exploitation claim we made it earlier anyway. GOG is, on the other hand, saying, we are proud to give horses a home on GOG, giving players another way to enjoy the game, GOG said. We've always believed that players should be able to choose the experiences that speak to them. To support the Santa Regione studio in this difficult time, we've decided to launch pre-orders on horses today. Grab yours and celebrate their creativity. Yeah, if you're up for that, go for it. I think that the whole fucking case here we have kind of is better now for the developer. He getting all the eyes on him by all those journalists, all those gaming magazines, portals, whatnot. I just picked out this article from IGN just because it felt like short enough to talk about it. He got now like a lot of exposure because of the ban. I think his game is going to do way better. He also said, yeah, I might need to close my studio because I can't sell it on Steam, whatever, right? Now he has bigger exposure, in my opinion, and he might do better because of this case, because of this happening. I can't prove it because I don't know in an alternative universe how it would have played out if he would have been able to sell it on Steam regularly. Who knows? But I feel because he got so many eyes on him now with his game Horses, you know, I think he might do okay. He might not starve. Let's put it that way. Schniepel, kaput. Oh, John Thunder was made kaput yesterday a lot. Guess what? Free speech isn't right that the government understands anyway. That said that already. I like that Russia keeps it real. We've gone off the rails pretending man or woman and half the country goes along with it here. No, not half the country. That's what just you're being suggested all the time. Mainly by the mainstream media, usually. That is nothing new. Now, 5 years ago, something happened globally. And we all should now have understood that the mainstream media is not to be trusted in any regard. Doesn't matter what happened. If you agree politically on the happenings, whatever, what's or not, you shouldn't trust any media these days at all in that sense, like too deeply. Whatever they told you, doesn't matter what topic it is. You just should question it right away. Everything. And the mainstream media told us now for almost a decade straight up all the time, and they still keep doing that, by the way. Yeah, men are women and women are men just because they claim, those mentally very ill people claim that they are this and that, ignoring reality and all that. So we shouldn't trust those institutes anymore anyhow, you know. But so a free society should be able to handle just calling out those faggots and trannies, whatever they are. The society should handle, and you should not be afraid to speak up. That's the main issue, in my opinion, that people are just absolutely fucking in absolutely fear, like in constant fear of losing whatever they have, clinching on that every little bit of whatever it is. In many regard, it is like this job position, that little bit money. They might be afraid to be cancelled from certain platforms, from certain events, whatever. But you might need to see where you are not welcome because you have actually completely different stance on certain topics, issues, and talking points. Doesn't matter what it is, you need to be like secure enough to fucking speak up. If you are afraid to lose your job just because you don't believe that men are women, and you never told anybody in their face, like, no, that's just not reality, whatever, leave me alone, fuck off, I'm not going to call you Susie and call you a woman just because you want to be called Susie and a woman with she, her. I'm not just going to go along with that. If you are delusional, go for it, I don't care, but don't demand it from me. If you are so afraid of that, you need to fucking lose your job. Sooner or later it's going to happen, because either you might explode, you might get a heart attack at one point. Who knows what's going to happen? But you need to be able to fucking speak up with your voice on certain topics, on your firm beliefs you actually have. If you're going to be in constant fear just because you're being told by the mainstream media all the time certain talking points, and and you don't believe those really, but you're still thinking like, yeah, that's the broader thing in society. No. Otherwise, the society would be 50-50 trannies and normal people. Then at that point, those normal people are not normal anymore, right? But it's obviously not happening. People are still 99.99% just liking the other gender. Yeah, very simple. Very fucking simple. So yeah, you just need to listen less to the mainstream media. Not only on that broader trendy topic, but on everything. How can you believe media these days anything still? Just because it is a frightening news on the first, and you hear like some certain names, and you see certain pictures, by some happenings. And I am a little bit alluding to what happened with the National Guard. Supposedly the female died and the other one is still alive, but in critical condition. I don't know anything about this supposedly Afghan guy. Might be true, might be not, but I'm not going to trust fucking any of those reports by the mainstream media. And also, for sure, not the government either. Have you not learned anything the past fucking 5 years? Every fucking little thing is going to be used against your mental state, against your beliefs, to their benefit. Whatever the topic might be. And it's going to happen over and over. You just need to be more aware of all that shit. And that's mainly here in the topic of trannies. We were just told constantly the last 10 years and still being told men are woman and woman are man just because they decide to. It is man.
It is man.
Oh, good. So you just stand on your ground. If you don't believe that stuff, just tell it. Tell it. Everybody needs to hear it. Don't be afraid all the time. Otherwise, you're gonna get cancelled in a very bad position when you can't have it at all. Meaning money-wise, all of a sudden you explode and you're gonna be in a very bad position, in a worse position than you might have been 1 year ago or something like that. If you spoke up. 50% big mics. But yes, what can I say, man? Those are delusional guys. I don't know about this game, though, if that's DI infused or anything like that. Maybe something is wrong with the game itself. I don't know, but this game is going to get, for sure, more exposure. It might be something for furries, though. It might be something for furries. And those are the same weirdos. Furries and VTubers who are clearly male, but depict themselves as little girls. Something very wrong in their mind too, I'm just saying. As usage. Me of my fears. And the last little piece of news. Interesting news. After 25 years, this unreleased N64 shooter is finally playable, thanks to game preservation efforts. N64 Shoot 'em Up Viewpoint 2064 was never released, but 25 years later, a final version of the game is now playable thanks to game preservation efforts. Still back in 2020, game preservation YouTube channel Hard for Games received a beta version of the game. And now, a few years later, an apparently final master, in quotation mark, card has been discovered and sent to the channel thanks to an anonymous individual. Viewpoint 2064 has now been made available to download and play, should anyone wish to check it out all these years later. So yeah, just a game never was released, but there was a final version of it, supposedly. You can download. Link down below of this article. You can download it. I wonder if it's gonna work on EverDrive and on real hardware. I just wonder. I hear rumors of a Metroid movie. That's not news. That's absolutely guaranteed. Next movie by Nintendo, if you want to know, you should listen more to the the angry game news, then you would know. But you all don't listen enough. Me. So next movie is going to be the Mario movie. The Mario Galaxy movie, pretty much. Supposedly April next year, something like that, whatever. 2027 is the year of Zelda, and after that, the next movie is planned with Metroid. They have not confirmed any date, but probably 2029, something like that. So yeah, it's not like the rumored though. They pretty much have already a timeline for that. It should at least be like a dark movie, hopefully like an R-rated movie, like with some tits, some good alien, some good alien depiction. Not the alien tits. How about Samus tits? That would be great. Wouldn't that be great? Brie Larson, Metroid. I don't know. Brie Larson can't run. I keep repeating that. Just search on YouTube, I guess, Brie Larson run, and watch her running. Will not work with Metroid, because in Metroid, Samus is gonna run a lot. A lot. Yeah, that one VTuber couple on Sidebar, super weird dude as a female VTuber avatar. I told that story already. I pointed it out in the locals of Side Scrollers. I don't know if I linked it on Discord. Probably not. Doesn't matter really. But what was his name? Rev says Dezu. That's his tag on X. He absolutely defends child hentai, or hentai child hentai, meaning porn, drawn porn. But he defends that shit. His excuse. There are plenty of little clips about he defending that shit all the time. His excuses all the fucking time. It's fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. Your mom is fiction at this point. If you defend like clearly lolly character, which are small children depictions of characters, and hentai, which is just like porn, drawn porn, anime porn. If you combine those, it's gonna be child hentai. Very simple. Meaning child depicting porn. Illegal in many countries. In Japan, not so much. For whatever reason, weird reason. Because they have the same claims, like, yeah, it's not real, it's just drawn. You can make the age whatever you want in your head, blah, 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 right? But otherwise, why would you draw it as a child? Very, very, very weird. And so, yeah, that guy defended it the whole time, and I have no clue why Side Scroller I think that was the second time they invited Rev Says Dezu. On one side, you're having such people as guests and just treat them as regular, normal, absolutely not mentally ill guests. On the other side, you go on a tirade of fucking blaming Hassan Piker for whatever, you know. And I think that's okay. You can do that, but have a little bit consistency. That's all I can say. And it's not about Side Scrollers, but in general, like, you can't blame certain stuff like off screen or like off stage when you're not in contact with certain individuals. Doesn't matter which podcast it is. But then again, befriend that exact same mental illness on the other hand. It's just weird. It's just weird to me. Well, I should be shamed or locked up. Yeah. I mean, technically, he's not like wrong. Yes, it's fiction. It's not real. Nobody was harmed or hurt, whatever. But still, it's just one step. It's literally just one step from you defending child pornography, pedophilia. It's just one step. Because you can make the argument at that point, if you're that delusional, like, yeah, well, it's just a video. The child was already harmed. It doesn't matter if I still distribute those videos anymore and spread them more and jerk off of those videos. You know, it's all already happened. Can't do more harm. You know, that's the same like logic behind it. So fuck that shit. Compare the lolly anime porn defense if it isn't real to someone jacking off to gay porn claiming they aren't gay. Yeah. Let's see how that works, all right? Good point. Let's see how that works. Yeah, I'm not gay. I mean,
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
I have just sex with men. That doesn't mean I'm gay. And in Switzerland, we had actually, I don't know when that was, 2 years ago, something like that, a case in the French-speaking Swiss. It probably happens here in the German-Swiss part too. But yes, one had like hentai stuff liked on social media, and later they found some lolly hentai on his drive and all that. And he was just consuming. He was not distributing it or anything like that, really, as far as I saw this case. But yes, he was fucking locked up because he just had that shit. Very simple. Yeah. I got news for you. You're gay. Yes. And I have news for those who defend lolly hentai. You're a fucking pedo. You're a fucking pedo. 100%. There's no way you are a normal human being if you can jack off child hentai, lolly hentai. There's no fucking way you are not a pedo. Otherwise, why would you get hard by seeing that shit? There's no fucking way you are not a pedo. And I don't know. I have zero proof. I'm not like saying that that's the case. I would not be surprised if you would scan Ref's hard drives that he has child porn on it too. I would be zero surprised. Zero. But yes, that's only me. I'm just a regular retard on the web, being loud, screaming about gaming news. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 p.m., I talk about video game news. And sometimes such stupid topics come up because there are also weird LGBTQ games around. And yeah, I mean, we had like lolly hentai on Steam too for the longest. That is being purged now more and more. Which is censorship, absolutely. There's no way to phrase it differently, but I'm kind of okay with purging that shit. Just saying. Fiction or not, it is fiction, but it's still disgusting. We get the news here. Hard gay news. Hard gay news. Not only a portion like on other streams. But anyhow, I thank you for being around. I hope you enjoyed certain topics, and I hope you have made up your minds on other topics. My name is Ike. That was TAGN, the Angry Game News. Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m. here on this channel. Follow, like, if you have not pressed like. I don't know if that does anything still. Nobody knows. They claim all the time, yeah, the thumbs up do something. Who knows? But I could also buy that shit if I want to. Like somebody else. Or not else, but many on the Rumble actually do. Buying views, buying viewers, and buying upvotes. Why don't they buy your downvotes? That would be way more interesting. Thank you, everybody. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. How much day there is left of. Bye-bye. I like fried rice.